Brought to you by First Amendment freepress.org. To all specialty groups out there raising and spending millions of dollars on whatever your interest group wants, stop. You are doing nothing more than propping yourselves up and dividing and damaging our country. If you are truly determined to save our nation, get together and focus on fixing the source of the problem, the Congress and the party system. Working together, we can fix the problem. We have the tools, we just need the will. It's Article the 1st, and it will restore and rebalance our representative government, returning equal representation and power to the citizens, where it was intended by the founders. It's radical, and that is why it was the first real amendment to our Constitution. If you don't think that we need a radical change right now, watch the following. A new act proposed in the Senate with new restrictions on Second Amendment rights. Complete and unedited, direct from the United States Senate. This affects all citizens, not just Second Amendment supporters. With the Supreme and federal courts attacking the issue, we are about to see the rights that were upheld in Heller and Bruin thrown out, and with this new proposed act, the complete destruction of the Second Amendment. So you hate guns and say good riddance to the Second Amendment. Why should I care? Because the Second Amendment allows citizens to keep all of our other natural rights that we are all born with. Look at the laughable supporters list that they supplied and then decide for yourself who to believe and then civilly act on the issue. This is for all you farmers in Iowa. Free hogwash is available courtesy of the senators sponsoring the gas-operated semi-automatic firearms exclusion Go Safe Act. The Go Safe Act, introduced by U.S. Senators Martin Heinrich, DNM, Angus King, I Maine, Mark Kelly, DREs, and Michael Bennett, D. Colo, is a pragmatic proposal designed to protect communities from gun violence while safeguarding Americans' constitutional right to own a firearm for legitimate self-defense, hunting, or sporting purposes. Regulates sale, transfer, and manufacture of semi-automatic firearms. The Go Safe Act regulates firearms based on the inherently dangerous and unusual lethality of their internal mechanisms, as opposed to focusing on cosmetic features that manufacturers can easily modify. If enacted, the bill would regulate the sale, transfer, and manufacture of gas-operated semi-automatic weapons by establishing a list of prohibited firearms, preventing unlawful modifications of permissible firearms, mandating that future gas-operated designs are approved before manufacture, and preventing unlawful firearm self-assembly and manufacturing. Protects Americans' Second Amendment right. The Go Safe Act protects Americans' constitutional right to own a gun based on a firearm's established use for self-defense, hunting, or sporting purposes. The Go Safe Act accomplishes this by including exemptions based on maximum ammunition capacity according to a firearm's individual class, a rifle, shotgun, or handgun. This capacity must be permanently fixed, meaning the firearm cannot accept a detachable high-capacity magazine that would increase the number of rounds that can be fired before reloading and make reloading easier. Exemptions include .22 caliber rimfire or less firearms, bolt-action rifles, semi-automatic shotguns, recoil-operated handguns, any rifle with a permanently fixed magazine of 10 rounds or less, any shotgun with a permanently fixed magazine of 10 rounds or less, any handgun with a permanently fixed magazine of 15 rounds or less, limits high-capacity ammunition devices, outlaws, conversion devices. The Go Safe Act limits a firearm's ability to inflict maximum harm in a short amount of time by directly regulating large-capacity ammunition feeding devices. The bill would limit the number of rounds that large-capacity ammunition feeding devices are permitted to carry, 10 rounds of ammunition or fewer. Additionally, the Go Safe Act makes conversion devices, including bump stocks and Glock switches, unlawful, improves public safety response, and protects law enforcement. The Go Safe Act will force would-be mass shooters to reload their guns more frequently, giving people time to flee and law enforcement time to arrive on the scene, while also maintaining law enforcement access to regulated firearms so law enforcement continues to have the tools they need to respond to a mass shooting event. Creates voluntary buyback program. The Go Safe Act will prevent stockpiling of these lethal firearms and large capacity magazines, and also ensure no one loses the value of any firearms they currently have. By establishing a voluntary buyback program which would allow firearms owners to voluntarily turn over and receive compensation for non-transferable firearms and magazines as defined by this legislation. The Go Safe Act is endorsed by every town for gun safety. Giffords, Brady, United Against Gun Violence, March 4th, March for Our Lives, New Mexicans to Prevent Gun Violence, Harold Medina, Chief of Police, Albuquerque Police Department, Kim Stewart, Sheriff, Dona Ana County Sheriff's Department, Elisa Bequeria, Superintendent, Lake Arthur Schools, New Mexico Coalition Against Domestic Violence, Rio Grande Alcohol Treatment Program, New Mexico Voices for Children, Patrick Nolan, School Board Member, Las Cruces Public Schools, and Taos Alive. The time has passed to sit idly by. We need to form a national coalition to reform our government and political system, short of war or complete collapse. Enforcing Article the First has the power that was written into the Constitution, and it can be done by the citizens without the approval of their so-called representatives. Presented by FirstAmendmentFreePress.org, the facts and the answers are in the book. It is available on Amazon for sale at ASIN. 1545 40835. It is so important that I will send a download link for a free electronic copy to anyone who requests it. Just send me an email to info@FirstAmendmentFreePress.org and feel free to share it. If you feel it is worthwhile, buy it online to help support our work.